I was just listening to a webcast on the power of regret by Daniel Pink. And he talks about regret as being one of our most misunderstood emotions and how we got it wrong. He talks about how we think regret can make us weak when it actually makes us stronger. We think we shouldn't look back when maybe we should. And that we think we should be positive all the time, which is a mistake. So what is this emotion that we call regret? What does it teach us, and how do we enlist it to be better? In research he did, he determined that people have the same regrets over and over again. If only I'd done the work. If only I'd taken the chance. If only I did the right thing. If only, we'll do that. If only I had reached out. So the regret of something that you didn't do versus the regret of something you did do. Now, as we age, the regret of inaction is far greater than the regret of things that we did do. So if you look 10 years from now, and I be that future self 10 years from now, I could ask myself, what will I regret if I don't do it or learn it now? Maybe you're staying in a career that's long past lighting you up, or a relationship. Maybe there's something you've been longing to do and you're just not going for it. So think of this like a timeline or a time machine. We have the ability to zip into the past and look at our regrets based on what we value, and we can look into the future and determine, if I don't do this now, looking into the future, looking back, what will I regret? So these 4 regrets, they operate like a photographic negative of the good life. So when we talk about regret, we actually talk about what we value. So just for fun, pretend you're making a phone call to the you 10 years from now. Can you make a good prediction about what you in 2034 will care about? I know the Linda of 2034 will not care about what color top I wore, what color car I drove, but the Linda of 2034 will care that I went for it, that I took that risk, that I reached out and connected with someone, that I went and learned something new and had a new experience. The Linda of 2034 will care, did I actually contribute to making the world a better place? So if the Linda of 2024 doesn't follow her dreams, then the Linda of 2034 is going to care a lot about that. So in this book by Daniel Pink about how looking backward moves us forward, we look at how we can use regrets to influence purpose. Now, regrets as an emotion typically doesn't feel good. It's considered a negative emotion. And so why is something so hard to take, hard to avoid? Well, because if we treat it right, it can be useful. When we look at regrets, it tells us what we value, and it instructs us on how to do it better. So if I look back to me 20 years ago when I was in elementary school, I have a regret about kindness. I recall back to situations where another person was being bullied or left out or just being talked to in a nasty way, and I didn't do anything about it. And to this day, it still bothers me. What it tells me is that I value kindness. So when we look at what is a life well lived, it tells me in my value that kindness makes for a good life. It clarifies and instructs me to be kinder to people. So, regret. If we process it well, it can lead to what we value. And at some level, hey, we know we're going to die. And even though we don't think about that on a daily basis, it kind of operates as a backbeat, which is what creates those boldness regrets. So when we get into our 50s and beyond, what happens is that our mortality becomes more salient. And so we create this, there becomes this higher level sense of urgency that tells us, hey, you know what? You better reflect on what matters to you and go for it. Because if making a difference and living out your purpose or having these experiences important to you, when would now be a good time? So what happens as we get older is that our mortality becomes more salient. It is something that we think about more. And when we don't focus on what kind of car we drive. We don't focus on the clothes we wear. We focus on being around people that we love and love us. We focus on making a difference. We focus on our destiny and the legacy that we're living. We focus on more joy and fulfillment than monetizing everything. So some food for thought on regret. I hope you found it useful and that perhaps there's something there for you. If you find yourself either living with regret and you're not sure how to move forward through it, or you're like, I don't even know what I want. Like, how do I actually figure out my purpose and my values? Reach out. This is what I do. My big purpose in life is to help my clients fulfill on their purpose, to discover their purpose and live into that purpose, to live a passionate life. My little p is to be kind and make a difference to each interaction that I make. Give me a shout. You can discover the path that I took to learn about that for me and how I've created a meaningful life. And I would love to share these tools and techniques with you.